Hey, we're from the St. Croix River Education District. I'm Nick,
I'm Courtney.
And I'm Rye.
and we're talking about nonverbal and paraverbal communication and how we can use our nonverbal and our paraverbals to support good relationships with students, which is a big part of just overall student engagement. And you're probably wondering, or you may be wondering, what's the difference between nonverbal and paraverbal? And my college communication professor would be really happy that I'm about to explain this. So nonverbal, we're talking about no words at all. It's just like your posture, your facial expressions, the gestures you're using. Paraverbal is like what our voice is doing without the words. So the volume, the tone, the pitch, the pace. And both of those things are guidance in order to have good, healthy relationships with students is to keep them as predictable and as calm and warm and positive as possible. And I don't know about you guys, but I've been in a lot of situations in classrooms where it was really difficult to maintain that calmness, warmth, and positivity in my body language and my voice, because on the
Absolutely.
inside, it's not what I was feeling.
No, I had to turn around and hide my face a little bit till I could get myself in check and then come back to the group or the student.
And I think it's one of those things where being aware of it can be really difficult, because even as adults, it's not like I have a perfect mood meter floating in front of me that kind of I know exactly what I'm feeling at all times. Kind of the stress can creep up on you, and you kind of notice that it's affecting your voice and your behavior before you even have a chance to kind of bring it down. Like, student does something and suddenly I'm really frustrated. This has happened before, and in the split second when I start to talk, like, that irritation comes out in my voice, and I don't look like the calm adult in the room who should be in control. I look like I'm engaging, and the situation in that case is just likely to escalate, and I'm adding to the fire.
Yeah, we talk about that a lot in another training that we have, but about just how behavior influences behavior. Like whatever you say, how you say, all of your nonverbal and your body language in that situation can really help or hurt your situation.
Yeah, and I mean, the point of these videos, we're trying to talk about, like, realistically, how can you alter what you're doing? Because we're talking about the problem, like it's going to be a problem. Like, if you have a peer, another adult to observe, like if you have with your PLC, like peer observations, that can be one just example, like someone there, because like we were saying, you're not always, it's tough to be aware and conscious of this happening.
Right.
So just having that observer there who's a little removed from the situation can help.
I also know, like, it was horrible to do those recordings for that when I got my teacher license, but looking back on them, it was really good reflection to see how I actually am in the moment. So I learned a lot from just watching a recording of myself too.
The dreadful EdTPA.
Yes.
And yeah, really, like that thing of having a camera in the corner of the room, or in this case, like a person who can just tell you what they observed, is really impactful. Because I've had kind of the opposite, where I thought this was creeping out in my, like, I had a really frustrating couple of months in a federal setting 4 program I was working in, and I thought it must be creeping out in my voice and my body language. Like, the students have to know, like, I'm frustrated. And then I had a student in high school say to me, like, "Oh, Mr. Vanos, you just never, you're always so calm. You never are angry." And I'm just like, wow. Like, not to pat myself on the back, but I had no idea that's like the impression I was giving off, because I was so not feeling that.
Mhm.
But anyway, like, how do you improve with this? So that observation is one thing, but like realistically, we are so isolated for most of the day as instructors. Like, you're kind of in your classroom, like you're not going to have that peer observation in a lot of cases. So just setting like 1 or 2 goals at a time, I think, is really key, because you can't try and accomplish like 8 different things with your interactions with students. Like, you can't set 8 different goals. This has to be like 1 or 2 that are the priority, and you kind of go into every day and every class reminding yourself, like, I'm gonna monitor my voice and my body language, and I'm gonna try and keep it in control and just keep it more present in your mind, I think, is the like advice I would give. What about you guys?
Yeah, just like knowing if you're one of those people, and I catch myself sometimes too with the hand on the hip or the arms crossing, like knowing that that's what you're doing. So that's your goal. Like today, I'm not going to cross my arms. When I catch myself, I'm going to check myself back into that supportive stance that we talk about too.
Love it.
Okay. Thank you guys for your time. Have a good one.